viewer. Welcome to today's episode of Women's View. I'm your host, Anne Morini, and I've really missed you all. I'm so happy that we're together once more. Thank you so much for always watching us on GPS TV Africa. We're very privileged and happy that we've got a lot of subscriptions, and now we're all over Africa. So, you're together with so many people in Africa. So it's a great honor to be here. I have a guest in studio who is going to be taking us through the topic of motherhood and business. And she's a very distinguished friend. She's also an author. She has authored a book called Tea with Mom, and she's going to be telling us a little bit about that. So remember that we are live on Facebook. The handle is GBS TV Africa. We'll also be on YouTube on the same handle. And in the event that you want to send us an SMS, the number to use is 21144. So welcome and enjoy the show. I want to give the guest a chance to introduce herself. Edna, please, karibu sana.
Asante. Thank you so much, Anne. What an honor. It's a big honor to be here. This is the first time I'm appearing on TV, so thank you so much. My name is Edna Thiongo Mbugua, as Anne has well introduced me. I have many hats. I think I'll just introduce myself with all these hats. I'm a mom. That is the biggest hat, the best, the newest, and the one that I love the most. I became a mom a year ago, 15 months now, and it's been the highest honor of my lifetime. I'm a mother of three. The 15 months ago is my my biological son, who is the youngest. And then I have two big ones, 21 and 19, a boy and a girl, who are my love children. And so it's big family, blended family. I'm also a career marketer. I run a marketing research agency called Breakthrough Consulting Limited, where we work across Africa, assisting brands, organizations, for-profits, which is corporate companies, and non-profits, which are development aid agencies, NGOs, to understand their consumers, their stakeholders, to be able to align themselves. For us, we always want brands to connect with consumers so that they are loved brands or they are loved organizations. I am a teacher. I am a part-time lecturer at the University of Nairobi. I teach consumer behavior. Everything that you do, how you think, all those things, that's what I teach there. And the latest one, I'm an author. I didn't think that title would be mine. I've written a book, which is my new thing, which has been brought about by motherhood. The book is titled Tea with Mom. It's going to be with you soon. In about 1 to 2 weeks, we'll be in different platforms. So you'll follow us and we'll let you know how to catch the book. And the other final one is that I'm a philanthropist. I love giving back to the society. I've done that so many years, working with in the education sector with primary schools. And now I am a member of the Rotary Club of Ridgeways, which is helping me a lot to propagate, to propel my love for charity work. That's me. Thank you.
Indeed, you wear many hats, Edna. I'm almost like even losing count. You're
I
a mom,
know. Only a mother.
owner, you're a wife, you are, a philanthropist.
Yes.
Wow, those are
Don't
so
forget
many.
that I'm a wife to an awesome man called Mr. Mbugua.
Yeah. Yes, and I'm sure he's watching you or he'll get a chance to watch you. So big up to him because you look happy, and that is very important to us women. Happiness is key. And one of the things that you have mentioned, which already is so exciting to me, is our world has evolved so much. We've got many types of children. We've got biological children, we've got
Yes,
love children, we've got
yes,
adopted children, we've got
yes,
blended families. And you know what? I think
yes.
that is I think that is
It's
awesome. It is the
amazing.
wave of the world right now. And so I
Exactly.
want to say that because I want anybody watching to be
Yes,
comfortable wherever
yes.
they are, whichever
Oh, yes.
situation you find yourself in. Even if you're a single mom, that's okay. If you have
Mm,
black children, that's okay. If you
yes.
have biological children, that's okay. If you have adopted children, that is okay. There are all these options.
Oh,
If
yes. And it's
you have blended
amazing. I
families,
didn't
that's
think
okay.
so. Exactly. I didn't think so because we are trained to even in the primary school books where we read about a nuclear family, mother, father, son, daughter. So it
Yeah.
was made to look like that. But today, these different families are also emerging and they're amazing. Like ours is amazing. We when you meet me with my love children, people think they're my children, and I love that so much because they validate me. Nilichelewa. So at least I look okay. When I work with my 19-year-old daughter, we look like,
Look like you started the game early.
and we look alike. So everybody keeps on saying we look alike. So she's so adorable. She's amazing, and she helps me to keep updated and keep myself in tune with the times.
I know, keeping young. And isn't that the joy of having children who are at that age? Because when you
Yes.
start to sleep, they teach you how to do TikTok, you
Oh
know.
yeah, Snapchat.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm very happy
Then
about
they
that.
and
Even
with the
as someone
do
you're
the
watching us, please, let's
yeah,
get rid of the judgment. Whatever kind of a mom you are,
yeah,
embrace it, be
yes,
happy about it, thank
yeah,
God. Even if you're an aunt, like maybe you don't have children yet, but you have friends who have children,
mm,
celebrate with them. You don't have to just uh, feel bad that you don't have. No, 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 get in there and look for a way to be comfortable and to be happy, so that
yes,
this topic applies to a lot of women. Motherhood and business, it's not just the nuclear family that you've talked about, mother, father, Peter and Jane, two boys, two girls, and whatever, no.
yes.
We're
And
in a dynamic society. So
you're right.
Edna,
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up, and at what point did you feel that you had to write a book?
It's interesting because I grew up in the village. I am a katoto kakulima kwa shamba. I grew up with actually it's so funny. I grew up in the village and when we were shooting the first video for my book with my daughter is when I learned that W is actually not W. Gosh, I still say W. It is W. So
W.
they are teaching me English. I my God, yeah. So I grew up in Othaya, and my mother was my primary school teacher. So you can imagine she actually taught me English in Kikuyu, which was amazing. And then I went on to university to do English literature. How is that? And I taught in Lenana School English, and the boys were always looking out to the time that I shrub, and they used to laugh loudly. So I've worked very hard to actually be able to get to speak the Queen's English, which I still work in progress. But I did English and literature, and my father was an English teacher in high school. So he always brought me so many books. I think, and he loved reading. My mom and dad are readers. They have so many books in there, and they could read even loudly to each other sometimes when they find something interesting. So I think I picked that reading culture very early in life. I used to go even to the bathroom with a newspaper, and everybody is looking for me. When they find me, I'm still in the toilet reading the newspaper. So I love reading a lot. And even now in my house, you find books all over the place. So what I didn't know is that I wanted to write, but I thought I did want to write because I did literature at university. We were always reading Ngugi wa Thiong'o, Chinua Achebe, Chimamanda. We were always reading books and criticizing authors, but I didn't think that I have that ability to write. And I think also when you read and you do, especially critical literature, you think that you have to be perfect. So
Yeah.
even my dad, my discussion with him about writing, because I keep on telling him we have to write something. He says, it's a lot of work, the research, the all that. So people think it's really huge, and so you avoid it. And that is what happened to me. So for a long time, I kept on writing small pieces. I would write small poems. I would write small stories. But then I would be like, when will I do a perfect thing to be able to put it together? So I must say it's interesting because when motherhood showed up and I became a mom, and I found myself up at night, sometimes having some crazy, nice, quiet times because maybe I put the baby to sleep, it's 3 a.m. I started writing just on my phone. And
Wow.
then I used to write and send to people. Like I would write and send my sister. In the morning, she would wake up and read, and she's like, wow. Then I would write again and send my mother, or I would write and send a friend something about themselves and something I've observed. And that's when I started thinking, oh, what about putting together these short pieces to make a collection of short stories? And then I also realized when I became a mother, I wasn't able to read long books. Like anywhere near me, you'll see large volumes of books. But
Yeah.
as a mother, you can't read a big book because there's not much time to follow through. So a friend of mine gifted me with a short stories book, and I enjoyed it so much because every time finish changing, I would pick it up, read a short story, and get done. I said, wow, short stories is a nice thing for someone who doesn't have so much time. And that is how the thinking of collecting short stories came up. And that is the story of now how the book has turned out. And then as I wrote about myself and my mother, also the motherhood, and gave me serious gratitude about my own mother.
Yeah.
And I can tell you one of the most decisions that I made is that my mother, if she calls me, I will pick up the phone, regardless of whether I'm driving or in a meeting in a boardroom, where, because I just want to find out exactly what she wants to say immediately. Before it was, Mom, I'll call you back. And then,
I know.
right now I have, like she is my number one. I ask her every day, how did you do this? 6 times. And I think lots of respect for mothers. If you're listening and watching us right now, please write an SMS to your mother, tell her you love her. And
Wow. And now that is so good. And I totally relate with what you're saying because I'm an avid reader also. I love reading. But I also have two boys, and you're right that sometimes reading a big chunk of a book, it's becoming harder and harder with time because of the many interruptions. So short stories is actually a very good way to go because at least you feel, the joy of I started, I finished, you keep feeling it many times. Instead of feeling like I have this book that is pending, I've not
yeah,
finished, I'm taking so long.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
I
And this,
relate.
the longest story is going to be 3 pages. Most of them are 1 page, half a page, short, sweet. And we also enjoyed the liberalization that has come with the internet and the virtual platforms where people are able to write short pieces and share. So we want to follow that kind of style. And this time I've not written like Ngugi wa Thiong'o. I've not written like I've not taken it. I have written an easy read. This is a book for everybody. If you have a mother, if you have a family, this is a book for families, for people to enjoy. The memories, the stuff people have said about their mothers. Nice stories, very heartwarming, very enriching.
And you know what? One of the things I really appreciate and love about your journey is that you have included some other people. You're talking about other people have written, which means that this is a compilation, and you
Yes.
have not just gone by yourself. In a way, you've mentored others because
Oh,
you have encouraged and pushed a little for others to write.
oh
How was
yeah.
that? Did you find people were able to write easily, or you had to do a bit of pushing? Were they comfortable? What can you say about the people you approached?
Oh, that was tough, but very interesting. And that is what now, and our lessons from Mabuno about purpose and how purpose keeps on unfolding. It's interesting how this whole thing is spanning out because at the beginning, I was writing about myself. So I was writing about lack of sleep. And then I used to look at my hubby, my son, and then I would write about them. A lot of them I've not even released them because some of them you look at them and say, you're going to tell the world that.
Yeah.
He's a very silent boy, while I am the one who talks all the time. So we then I started asking people. Then I started actually observing people. I would go to a party and I would observe someone with their mother, and I would write something about them. And then when I give them, they're like, "Oh my God, this is us." So it's interesting how it just started rolling out. And then I asked people about their mothers, and people could not stop. And this is not just women, this is men. This a lot of stories are also from men, and they love their mothers. And they were like, Edna, if I have to talk about my mother, it's gonna be like 2 days. And the lessons that people pick from their mothers that they're applying in their lives. And it is interesting. We have 45 stories from
Wow.
different
Wow.
people
So I can
across
imagine the
any,
richness
yeah,
and the
the world.
diversity dynamic. I can't wait to have my hands on that book, by the way. I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward. So, by the way, towards the end of the show, you're going to tell us where we can get it. But I want us to get a little bit into your personal journey because I'm so surprised that you did literature in university and you're in marketing. I didn't
Yes.
even know that's what you did. That is very amazing. And it's like basically what you studied is after a long time coming
Yes.
to fruition. Look at you. Your dad was a teacher. Even your
Yes.
mom was a teacher. So I'm sure
Yes.
they're so happy to see, like, it's almost like the fruit has finally been birthed. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Actually, this is my gift to my dad. And dad, because I know you're watching, we still have to write. Because my dad wrote drama. He's the one who wrote those pieces, the drama for high school.
Yes.
He's the one who used to write. And he is so good at it. My dad and dictionary are best friends. It's always next to him. So I always thought what a good piece we would write with him. So when I was writing this one, it's interesting because when I did literature and then I really didn't want to be a teacher. When they called me, now from Nyeri, coming to the university was my first encounter with the city. I
Yes.
didn't want to come and be a teacher like mom and dad. And also mom also had this thing of saying, teachers are like an advertisement. They're like a gate telling people, signboard, go this way, but they'll never go.
I know.
So she used to tell us when you're going to church and, people would come from the city in their ranges and they would stop and say, hi, Mwalimu. And then they would give her 500 shillings. Then she would be like, you see now, a teacher, now will I ever drive this car? That's why I want you to be an engineer like that guy so that you can drive that car. So I really didn't want to be a teacher. I cried so hard. But I went to Kikuyu campus and we were encouraged that, you can also be other things. But anyway, we had to do the whole works and teach for a bit. But guess what? I ended up actually now being a teacher and now I love it. I'm now a teacher, you know?
You're a lecturer, which is a teacher, just that you teach older children.
Yes, and my students at the UN, they love me and they love what we do together. They wonder why I didn't like it. But the whole now utilizing this literature and falling in love with books, now authoring, it just shows how life continues to, connecting those dots. When you
Yeah,
connect them, you realize how your life is very well connected. So what
that's
I
true.
did to run away from teaching after B.Ed is to do my master's. So I did a master's in marketing, MBA. So I did MBA marketing to run away literally so that I now go into the profession of marketing and all that. And when I
Yeah.
went into marketing, I fell into market research, which is now became my profession. And guess what? Storytelling became my other life. So I took my gift of storytelling now into market research. And all we do at Breakthrough Consulting is tell the brand stories. We use insights that we hear from consumers. We listen to the stories consumers tell us, and we use them to develop insights that now inform brands so that brands can make consumer-led decisions. So it's very, very well connected. And now
No.
always telling stories and enjoying that.
Yes, and now that you're going back to teaching, one of the
Yes,
things that I feel I want to talk a little bit about teachers and the way teaching is a very fulfilling job, but it is not very rewarding. But
yes,
it is the route that you took is very nice because you went into marketing, where even
yes,
your confidence as a person has been built. So now when you come to teaching, you're
yes,
coming into teaching in a very at a higher, more elevated level where you appreciate it and
yes.
the training has made you more confident. So you don't even look down on teaching now. You appreciate
Mm.
it and it has all gone full circle.
Oh,
So that
yes.
is really
Completely. And what I love about the teaching I do today is that it's so practical. What I teach my students, consumer behavior, is what is happening in brands daily. And
yeah.
my senior lecturer, who is Dr. Ngaho, who we teach together in her class, helps me, together because we are market researchers, we make it very practical. So if we are talking about Safaricom, if we are talking about consumer motivation, we'll give the class that case study and ask them, discuss how consumer motivation applies in the commercial communication of uh, Equity Bank, Fresher, Safaricom, brand. And we want the students to be able to practice, not only to get the A's. I keep on telling them, especially in the MBA class, nobody will ever look at your A's transcripts, but can you be able to go into the boardroom and use this knowledge to make a consumer decision that is going to win for your business, that is
Yeah.
going to have return on investment for your business. So it's very practical kind of learning today, and I enjoy it. I wouldn't even want to do the theoretical kind of making people cram and get straight A's. I want them to be students who can practice and who can deliver for their organization. In my undergraduate class, I prepare them so that they can go into the marketplace knowing what is expected, not only to just finish reading and then they start looking for a job.
Wow. And you know, when I listen to you, I can see that in a way, the way you're talking about your students, the thing with mothering is you can
Yes,
mother your children, and that is one of the great joys. But in a
yes,
way, in a very indirect way, when you're a teacher and when you're a lecturer,
yes.
you are molding and helping to influence
Yes.
the other women's children. So it is
Oh,
in a way a sort of an extension of motherhood. I don't know whether
yes.
you can see my angle, and I hope it's
I,
not too far, but
I do.
you're very concerned about the output of your students,
Yes.
and I know that the relationship between teachers and students gets to be very close and very like a mentor. So it's also in a way motherhood. So I want to
Oh,
ask something now. You have been in business before you had a child, your son,
yes.
and your love children, and now you have been in business after.
Yes.
How has motherhood affected the way you look at business, the
Yeah.
way you schedule your time? What has changed for the better
Wow.
or for worse?
Great. I think, first of all, my life changed completely. Motherhood changes. I mean, right now, with, like a single Edna, it would have been like wake up, office, probably go to the golf club, meet friends. Wow. Go shop for shoes. I haven't bought shoes since I became a mother.
Hi.
Shoes.
Yes.
Motherhood is full-time business.
Yes.
You almost, like today, like when you the things that we took for granted.
Yes.
This is full-time. My God. Sometimes I used to look at my sisters and wonder why they haven't done their hair. Now I know.
Yes, I
Yeah.
know.
I think
Lack of time.
yeah, especially for my business, it was a big challenge because, and business is like motherhood also because when I started my business early on, it was like the baby that I picked up and I raised and all that. But when you become a mother, now you're raising a human, it's a whole different ball game. And so time is tight. There's no time to sleep. Sometimes you are up throughout. People wonder why a mother's up. I used to wonder why my sister is always going around her house. I used to
In the middle of the night.
I could message my mom and say, "Ah, it's like 2:30 and she's still going round." So you're always going round because you have to change the baby. You have to, sometimes you're just listening to how they're breathing. Sometimes you're checking on their temperatures. Sometimes you're just their mother. You're just up. So today so my timings changed. Thank God for self-employment because at least I could be home more. First of all, I took a whole 6 months off to do exclusive breastfeeding and focus on him. Yeah, I said I had been in the world for too long, and I mean, becoming a mom at 40, I was like, let me now focus on this, the
Yeah.
job. And obviously, it affected my business. I had never been away from my business for all my life. So in a way, my team didn't know what to do without me. My clients decided to wait for me. And that's the other thing about business. People must think about structures for their businesses so that a business can run without the owner, which is the work that we are now doing at Breakthrough today. We have um, a team of strategy consultants helping us to set up structures and organize the business so that it's not so reliant on me. Um, and then, of course, so all those things changed. And then also my priorities kind of changed because I was now more consumed by this new work that nobody knows how to do. What? There's no there's no manual for motherhood.
There's
And
no manual. It's you wing it. Yeah.
I was thinking baby center would help. What? When
Yes.
the real baby showed up, I could not even read the app anymore.
I think things
All
go
the
crazy.
Yeah, and all the things I had, I'm a researcher. So I had done a lot of research. I had subscribed to all these websites. I had aligned people who will help me to train him to sleep. Had told me that they would even train him to sleep by 7. He can be asleep and I can, what? What is that? It never happened. So, so I ended up now with having to actually live the practical life. And all the things when I was a single girl, I used to stress everybody with all my, reading. I had read so much about motherhood. So I used to tell my sisters, you should do this, you should do that. Other friends, this is what, and then I used to even give them recommendations on being books, proper books for raising. Well, hey, and then you know how Mabuno Velea, they used to
Yes, yes.
a whole month we are doing parenting, and we have no children. So I used to tell my sister, you're not supposed to pinch your baby. You're supposed to use a kiboko because we were told by Pastor Oscar what. Hey, they used to look at me and say, you first get yours, then you come and tell us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Vitu kwa ground
I
tofauti.
am with them. I can tell you there's no manual. You just learn. And what I would like to tell mothers, which is sometimes we sometimes stress out because we want to be perfect. There is no
Yeah.
perfection. And there's no right way or wrong way of doing it. And let us also forgive ourselves when we make mistakes because we are also learning. Nobody knows how to do this. This child is learning, and you're also learning as a mother. So excuse yourself. Sometimes when I do the diaper wrong, and then it is still oozing out. I'm like, yeah, but I think I tied it wrong. I
Yeah.
didn't even, the first diaper I tied was for my son. I never knew how to do this. I didn't even know how to remove, when the baby is chewing something, like now he's speaking a lot of things. I don't know how to remove it. I scream for my hubby to come and help me. And he tells me, you just finya, 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 and then it comes out. I don't know those things. I'm
Yeah.
like, can you swallow the whatever you're chewing? Let
Oh
me tell
my
you.
God. Yes.
And I am
Okay.
40. I don't know how they do it at 20.
I know. I was going to talk about that because you actually got your son at 40. How was the pregnancy difficult for you? Your body changes.
Yeah,
How have you
yeah,
embraced that? Has it been a bit rough just to see how your body's changing, or are you okay with it? Because
yeah,
when you get a baby at 40 and when you get a baby in your 20s, I think it's very different.
yeah.
Even your energy levels, I don't know, have you been energetic or have you needed a lot of help, or tell us how has it been?
Exactly. Yeah, I think I don't know the right age because first of all, when you're in my age group, when you start seeing a guy, there's a guy now I saw and he said that now this age is high risk age. God, it's like a footballer. If you're playing football at 30 years, you're considered very old.
Yes.
Imagine people are saying Messi is old. He looks very young to me. So when you're older, like at my age, by the time I was conceiving at 39, everybody thinks you're very old, and
Yeah.
so even the doctors, you're like the Mayai level to be taken care of, almost to be told to take bed rest. But I thank God because I enjoyed a very easy time. I had a very healthy pregnancy. I was able to move around all the way to the end. Uh, and I think maybe Africans, maybe those stories of old are for other markets, but I think in Africa we see people having children even at 48, even at 50. So I
It's
think it
true.
is by case basis. But
Okay.
of course, like right now, when I look at my daughter, the way she runs after my son, she's faster than me. She'll pick him up, she'll run, so she's 19. So I think maybe when you're younger,
You have more energy. Yeah. Because by the
exactly,
way, those children are so energetic. Running after them it's like going to the gym.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
think sometimes maybe younger moms find it so easy. Like the other day, I was watching your show. You had this girl who got a baby at 17 and another one at 18. And when you looked at her, she looked so young. So maybe I'm sure like her running around with a baby was not hard work. So when you're older, obviously, it's harder. Getting back in shape also is harder because the weight won't go away quickly. So you just have to reconcile with your situation and love yourself. And I think I have a very supportive husband. So thank God he's not looking at my waistline.
Yeah. Thank God. Big up to him. He's looking at the product, the boy who has come and look at you. You look so amazing. As in you're glowing. I know
Thank
motherhood is a lot of work, but you've
you.
been able to. I think when you become a mom, when you're more
Yes.
maturer and you're
Oh yeah.
able to make decisions. See, like for you, you are
Yes.
able to tell yourself that you're going to take 6 months away from your business
Yeah.
to focus on your son. To be
Yes.
honest, I find that sometimes when you get a child when you're younger, you
Mhm.
feel like you're losing. Like,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
my prime time. I need to be out there with my friends hanging out. But when you do, when you're older, you're like, I've done my share of hanging out. It's time
Yes.
for me to put myself aside, like you did, and you give
Yeah.
yourself chance to be home. And which is awesome.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
you're so right about that because I think because I've been there, we've traveled the world, we've done all those things that, today, do you know, since I think since when I was about 9 months pregnant, I can't remember being out there. I haven't even gone to the club. I've not even played golf. I've not even gone to maybe Java to the terrace. And please, I thought this show would be on a terrace somewhere nice. You
COVID, after COVID, after the Rona is over, we need to do a recap of this show outside for you.
know, we have to even just for the mother to enjoy being outside. So I haven't been out there. I'm not doing those things. And I am very contented. I'm
Yeah.
happy. I'm at peace. For those 6 months, the only things I did to go out was maybe to walk him and to go to the clinic. And I was so happy and at peace. So you're right. When you're older, you've been there, done that. You're calmer, and then you're also knowledgeable. You know more because you have seen quite much. Like for me, I can imagine all the baby showers I was organizing and listening to mothers and being an auntie. You have so much more knowledge, so you are more still. So you don't have those things of feeling like you're missing out on anything. And there's nothing to miss out. I would tell all mothers, the world is gonna be there when we are done with changing diapers.
And you know what? That is very key information right now, because I do find that sometimes women feel as though motherhood is a
Mm,
disruption of their career.
yeah.
But I like that you've been able to work on your business in such a way that you're now aware that you need to build structures so that you can
Yes.
take time out. And even when you're not there, your
Exactly.
business is not affected.
Oh yes.
How can you encourage women in terms of, does motherhood interfere with, if you're a career woman and you have your eyes set on this big plum job, like,
Mhm.
and then you get a child, you know,
Wow.
how should you react with that? And you can also give us the perspective of an employer as well. You're
Okay.
you're an employer
Exactly.
now. When you
Yeah.
see my employee is expecting, my other employee is expecting, I have to pay them salary when they're on leave,
Yeah. By the way, first of all, as for a career woman who is rising up the ladder and motherhood checks in, I must say there's a little interruption. It can't be business as usual. Women manage, and God gives us grace. I think we must give it up to women. Even I think, and even in terms of how we govern and how we consider them, even for like the way you hear, including them in procurement and all that. I think we must really consider women because it's harder. It's harder for, imagine a woman in the C suit and a man. The woman didn't sleep because up to 3 a.m. she was still up, changing diapers, doing all those things we do with these babies around the house. And then they both have to show up in the boardroom at 7:30.
I know.
The performance of those two people, of course, the woman would be strained a little bit, but I think it is still possible. I have seen people become mothers. We've seen Michelle Obama, and we have seen,
Yeah.
yes, and we have seen this lady of Facebook. So we have seen women who have managed to be career women and mothers, and they have managed. I know women, God gives women more grace. I listened one day to Karomotuko saying that there's usually some reserve energy kept by God. When you become a mother, He gives it to you because how you propel yourself, how you work, how you do all these things. Honestly, it is always like, even me, it still amazes me the many things that you can juggle as a woman and be able to pull out. Imagine all these things I'm telling you of motherhood, and I was still writing and I was still getting this book through all the work that we have been able to put through. God totally gives us the grace for the season. And I think we are blessed as women. And maybe because children are such a purpose for God, then He has to ensure that all the systems are working for the children to grow and for the mother to prosper. So there's that grace that is given. The other thing, as an employer, I can tell you, I know employers look like I have a staff who got twins. recently, and obviously she could not be able to juggle between the work and the babies. It is tough. But what I would say to all the employers, let us be considerate. Let us be considerate for the women, especially when they get children. We need so much support. That's when you need to actually support them more. So besides the leave that we offer, if there are other things that we could be able to do to support them so that they are more productive and they can get back and be productive and back to themselves, whatever support that is needed, let us be able to provide it. And I can also tell you, and it's not easy for women. That's why you see women even sinking into postpartum depression. And this is a topic for another day. And I would really say that it is important even for the society to be very well aware that the changes, the changes that come through when you with this with motherhood, they can change you in a way that you might not be able to recover even emotionally. So those are things that people can check and support women.
Yes, and I have to interrupt you, Edna. Our time is up. So,
Really?
yes, can you imagine our time is up and we just have to wind up? It's been such an honor talking to
Wow.
you. And I know that we need to have another show because there's still so much more that you have
Yeah.
to give on motherhood and business. But you have already given us a lot of tips and tricks. And people, the book is almost out, Tea with Mom. When it's out, how can we be able to get a hold of it?
Yeah, follow us on our social media pages. They'll be out, they'll be ready in a few days. Tea with
Okay.
Mom on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, we tea with www.teawithmom.co.ke is the website for the book. Will also follow me, Edna Thiongo, on my socials. I will keep you updated. I'm going to post on the next on the platforms where the book will be at and how to purchase it. And I look forward to getting your feedback on how you will enjoy reading our wonderful stories in Tea with Mom.
All right. Thank you so much, Edna. It's been a pleasure to have you, and we look forward to having you again when the book is out. Let's
Mm.
come and get to hear about the stories and people's responses.
Oh,
Viewer,
yeah.
thank you so much for being with us today. It's been a great honor, and I look forward to being with you next time. Keep it here, GBS TV Africa. Thank you.
Thank you.